So guys, so Formula One is here, Mukami, and first of all, why should I watch it this year? What is there to watch? Because I can today confidently say that by October, Verstappen will have won his what? Fourth title?
Yes.
Yeah.
So why should I really watch Formula One this season? What would make it different from last season, which was a cake? Is it cakewalk a good word to use?
A walk in the park.
It was a walk in the park. Like it was a.
Was he won 19?
That's the word.
Let me tell you,
Yes.
if you were watching Formula One with you remove Max, and then now who's actually the winner? Like you forget Max exists because after he starts, he goes and we don't see him again. If you now watched it, who is the next winner?
So we are not watching. We are not watching for.
It was extremely interesting.
Hold on. So we are not watching this for excellence, because excellence clearly is out of the equation.
Hamilton had been winning for how long? Back to back.
But no,
still.
Hamilton himself said last year, this is unfair. It was that bad. He said last year, he said this is unfair, that cars, people should not dominate this much. I was like,
which was ironic.
In fact,
exactly.
No. Hamilton himself said he's even forgotten how to win. He was like, I just
last
do not
season
recall.
He had a podium. I think, I don't know, was it like...
The only other people who won races was Perez and Sainz.
Yeah. But Hamilton
So in other words, we are
Not
not.
a podium.
So in other words, we are not watching for the excellence and the competitiveness. We are watching for drama. We are watching best of what was it called? Best of the rest.
Yes,
of the rest.
That is exactly it. Best of the rest became the story because at some point, even when it was Hamilton, Verstappen, like Mercedes, Red Bull, and then like whatever else is happening. But like last season, there was so many of those backstories. Like you're saying, Drive to Survive gives such a good example of all the different backstories, because Ferrari and Mercedes, it went down to the last day.
Yes.
3 points between them for who now actually finished second in the Constructors' Championship. But this year, a lot of the cars have upgraded. Mercedes have a completely different car. And Hamilton actually last year had told them, you guys, this car is not going to compete. And they didn't take him seriously. And then once the car got on the racetrack, they were like, okay, you're right. So there are these little things happening behind the scenes that if you look at it in perspective, it's not that much of a shock that Hamilton will now be driving for Ferrari in 2025. I can't believe that's a statement I've just made.
Now here's the thing. Before I get to that one, and I read a bit about it this week and it was very interesting, by the way. Look, Verstappen did everything last season, Bernard. Lead from pole, sawa. Start second, sawa. Start second row, it's okay. Get punished and start in 13th, it's okay. I could even start in the pit, it's still fine. And yes, people have upgraded. Mercedes have a nice car, or Ferrari, or McLaren are said to be doing good stuff, good things.
You know,
but who again has also made upgrades?
Yeah, exactly.
Is Red Bull.
Because you know that's the funny thing is a lot of the other cars made their car more like Red Bull's car for the 24 season. And then Red Bull unveiled their car and they're all like, WTF.
They tweaked a few other things.
Like WTF. Because now, and you know, that's why you don't ever trust the testing, the practices, because you know these guys aren't bringing, like they're not doing their best. They're still sort of trying to tweak things. And, you know, Verstappen, I think, only led one testing. He didn't lead a single practice, a single testing, other than one. And then yesterday, qualifying, he's there at the top.
You know, for me, for one thing that I find a bit interesting about Red Bull is the fact that, yes, everyone is Verstappen. Drives the same car as his teammate,
Mr. Perez.
But Perez has, I think he's walking on thin ice.
He's just not good enough.
He's walking on thin. I think he's
not good. He's not good enough.
For
starting
sure.
on P what? For the, because I know Verstappen is on pole.
Yeah, he messed up, Kiasi. He's P5.
He's on P5. Because number 2, I think it's
For sure, he's not keeping his seat in 2025. I think it would have been too expensive to end his contract this year, and that's why Ricardo comes in, and I feel like them giving him a chance at RB, which is the former AlphaTauri,
Yes.
is to sort of, because Christian Horner has such a soft spot for Ricardo because he started his whole career there, and then he got too big for his own head because he was like, these guys are focusing on Max, I'll never be out on my own, and then he left, and now he'll come back very humbled.
Yeah, because he spent a few months or a year.
The time he wasn't
out
the
without
whole half of last year.
Yeah, a few months without a seat.
Without a seat. So for him, it's so funny that coming back to the seat that he left will be the best thing that's ever happened to him because he left so quickly. And I think Christian Horner doesn't like Max being challenged. Perez hit his targets. That's why he still has a seat. He finished second and Red Bull finished first. If he hadn't finished second in the Drivers' Championship, maybe there would have been a problem because they want to focus on Max as number one. I think he wants to break all the records ever written to be broken. And if the other cars don't catch up, he's catching up to, Hamilton and Schumacher really quick.
But you see, here's the thing. First of all, it's the only reason why I like Red Bull. Number one, because they threatened from the days when I like when a team that's not supposed to be big bothers people. So from the days of Jenson Button winning it, you remember back in the days, all the way to Verstappen bothering Lewis Hamilton. I like that. I like when there's disruption.
Vettel.
The only one, exactly, Vettel. The only thing I like, another thing about Red Bull is that they're very old school. If you look at Verstappen versus whoever driver, it's like Schumacher and Barrichello, or it's like Schumacher and Felipe Massa. Whereas Schumi was the undisputed number one and everyone else supported him. So I like that. You pick one and do it.
That makes things boring.
No, but I'm number one for a reason.
That makes
I am number one for a reason. Mercedes.
If someone is faster.
No, there's nothing like faster.
Why don't you guys just
No. The only time in me watching Formula One they've let that happen is when Mercedes were trying to be cheeky with Nico Rosberg.
And he won.
But they almost fixed is the wrong word, but they almost made it impossible for him not to win. They woke up at the start of the year and took everyone that was Lewis Hamilton's team, swapped, gave it to Nico. They really wanted Nico to get that one. And then after he got the one, even him, he stepped. He was like, I was like, yeah, it's like, cheers.
And even later, he was interviewed about it and he was like, how much he respects Hamilton because for him, it took everything. He had to give everything, complete sacrifice just to barely win.
He did not sacrifice. The team sacrificed Hamilton. Let's not be nice. The team sacrificed Hamilton and everything that he was so that this guy could win. And that's the only time in living memory I've seen.
And people are surprised that Hamilton is moving to Ferrari.
They are surprised, but there's two things. And I'll tell you what I said. Again, my rudimentary understanding of F1. If Real Madrid calls, you go. If Real Madrid calls you, no matter who you are, you go. Now, who's the Real Madrid of Formula One? I know youngins think it's Mercedes. No, it's Ferrari. Ferrari is the brand. It's the
But that's
hold on. That's number one. Ferrari is the Real Madrid of Formula One. Like one of the former Ferrari bosses said, even other drivers like Ferrari. Everyone loves Ferrari. Vettel said the same thing a few years ago. Said, Ferrari is the number one. So that's one. So when Ferrari calls, you want a chance to drive the car with that logo. You just want. Anyone when kids draw cars, they draw them as red with the logo. So that's number two. Mercedes were not very sure they wanted to give him a long deal. True? Why? Because of that young kid. He's called Ukimi, the young boy. There's a young boy. It's a young boy. See, just that Formula One names don't stick to me like athletics do. There's a young boy called something like Kimi Antonelli or something. I read that somewhere this week. They wanted to. I'll get you the name. Here he is. Andrea Kimi Antonelli. He's seen as the next big thing. He's seen as the next Max Verstappen. He's only 17 years old. So Mercedes have been going like, yeah, this kid looks like this kid could be, he's a Mercedes junior driver. This kid could be the next guy. So when they were looking at him and he's 17, they were thinking, this year he'll turn 18. And then next year, at 19, maybe Verstappen came in early. So Lewis Hamilton, they were having those doubts. Yeah. So Hamilton got wind and he started his own conversation on the side. So he then caught them out because they were offering him a short deal. Then he went the other way around, got the better deal. Then I read that somewhere this week. He actually told Toto the day before the news came out. Like they're having breakfast, casually said, by the way, Kesho.
It's been real.
Kesho, unajua.
But it's been in the system, so obviously he knows remove the band-aid. But for me, I feel for George Russell, it's an opportunity now.
You think he's that good?
I think he has the potential.
Just because he's
British. Because he starts on P3, if I'm not wrong, in Bahrain. So I think George Russell... George Russell, I think it's for his moment to shine.
You have not watched
I think he just because he's British.
I think it's his moment to shine. No, George Russell, even with the worst car that on the track, he was still pulling out during qualifying. He was always making it to the third qualifying, which means drive power.
But what did they do last season with both drivers? They pretty much let George, drive. He drive with the car. Who was the guy they kept trying to tweak things around? Oh, today let's try this. Yeah. Or let's do. Who was it? It was Lewis Hamilton. They kept tweaking things with Hamilton, and they left George to do his thing.
For Russell, one of the things that we need to also realize for him is he's waited for this chance for so long. Once he settles down, because there was a race where he was racing against Sainz, and it's the race Sainz won. It was Singapore last year, and they were like the last lap, and he's really trying to overtake him, and then he makes a mistake and hits the side. So his race is gone on the last lap because he wants to win so badly. There's that, and he's done that in previous races where it's like he needs to temper down and like take the results as they come. Like eventually a win is come. Yeah, eventually a win will come. But with regards to Hamilton, if Hamilton knew they'd be getting a car that can challenge Red Bull's car, he would still have stayed in Mercedes. All he wants is his 8th. But he knew. All he wants.
Two questions. One, he knew they're not going to have a competitive car this year because Formula One traditionally, when you have huge changes, the switch happens. Every single time the switch has happened. That's why Red Bull was so dominant under Vettel, and then they went through a dip, and then now they are back. So he knew that. Number two,
but
are you telling me? Hold on. Number two, I told you. Now I'm cranky. Number two, are you telling me he has a better chance at Ferrari?
Ferrari's car is been made better. Yes,
he has a better chance of winning this next season with Ferrari.
Yes.
This is the same Ferrari that last won a title when I was...
Vettel, let me tell you...
No. The last time Ferrari won a title, where was I? I had... It's the year I won CNN. Do you know how long ago that is? 2007.
Let me tell you, there was a time when Ferrari were cheating, and if they had a better driver than Vettel, they could have won that year before it was discovered that they were cheating.
Which was that?
I think it was 20.
I agree with him. I agree with him. 19. Like his move to Ferrari, I think, was more commercial. I don't think he'll get that 8th. I genuinely don't think he will.
If he wants the 8th, he goes to Red Bull.
I don't think he will.
And Red Bull. Wapigane sasa na nani mano imano.
No, Honor would never. Unless Verstappen is the one who says bring him, that decision would never be. That would break Formula One.
Those are two big egos, man.
That would really break.
But you want competition in a team, don't you?
No, I love it. I'd love it. Eish, that's the best thing.
So that we give the same type of car to both drivers, and then we see.